Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Model Horse Maniac, and today we're going to continue our little collection tour series that we've been doing recently. And we're going to have a look at the Schleich model or Schleich models in my collection, of which I have a fair few up there and also down that side. So this is going to be a little collection tour. I'm going to go through all my Schleich shelves, tell you a bit about some of the models, and yeah, hopefully you stick around and enjoy the video. So we're going to start over here. So this is like my favourite Schleich shelf, honestly. These are all of the older models from from the beginning up until about 2014-ish, 13-ish, I think this goes up to. So let's get into it. They are mostly horses. I do have quite a few other animals as well, but I'm a horse collector, so obviously they're mostly horses. But we will start with some animals that are not horses up here. So these are all like 80s farm animals. I do have all my farm animals on display like separately, but these guys just are so nice and so old that I thought that they deserve to live up here at the top where people can see them, or I can see them, you can see them. So that's where they live. And then we move on to the shelf. So at the top here, I have like some of my rarer models, or definitely my rarer models. So we have like I only have a couple of the Artist Series ponies, but we have those on the end. Then we have like these guys that are like Toys R Us exclusives. We have at the back, we have the bendy figures, the 1950s bendy figures. I actually just got them recently. I just did an unboxing a little while ago, so I'll link that in the description. Then we have like Satchmo. I'm still missing quite a few of the early like special runs, like the White Frisian, the Marbacher ones, because I was collecting when they came out, but I was too young to spend that much money on them, which obviously I regret now because they're worth about £200-300 a piece now, but you know, you can't go back in time. And then I have this series, which is like the horse and rider sets that they did in like 2010, 2011, 2012. I don't have the full set. I don't have the rodeo horse. I remember seeing it in stores and again being like, oh yeah, I don't collect Western, and leaving it. So that haunts me forever. But I have like my three favourite ones. I have the dressage, the eventing, and the show jumping, and then also the racing and the Western. And you can see in the back the creepy 1950s Schleich figures. I just don't know where else to put them because they're pretty rare, so they deserve to be on this shelf. And then we have, in the end here, we have a couple more like special edition Falabellas, the keychain from Toy Fair, and the Falabella mare from like the book. But then we also have the Western series, which I haven't actively collected, but I've ended up with almost all of them. I'm just missing one, I believe. But I just recently got the wagon, which was really cool because that was a big thing I was missing. And then the second shelf is more special editions. This time these are like Müller Germany exclusives with some of the early magazine figures in front of them. And I also have my minis and the couple of classics I have, and also the anniversary, like lion and donkey and the Easter rabbit, because I did go through a phase of buying, when Schleich first started doing limited editions, of like buying the lion and the donkey as well. So they live on here too. But you can see like some of the really early magazine figures. I stopped collecting the magazine figures, but I do have the early ones. You'll see I have a lot more. Like this isn't it. I have a lot more you'll see later on. But yeah, and the very early Müller Germany ones that I really, really like. So they're my two rarity shelves, I would call them. And now we're moving on to the models that are basically, well, they are in chronological order. So I probably won't have a lot to say about a lot of these, but we start off right at the beginning with the Godolphin Arab, the Fold Brown, Dali Arabians. You can see I have like some of the working tools in the back as well, fences. Like I have a lot of my accessories are on a different display, but some of them are on this display as well. And I am also, as you will see, an absolute sucker for variations. So you can already see the variations creeping in. Like I have the three variations of the fjord with the dorsal stripes. You can sort of see the colour variation on those guys. These guys are a mould variation. You can see the one on the left is a lot more detailed. So yeah, there's a lot of variations. And then this one, we're down to like 2001, 2002-ish now. I have 4 variations of that Arabian Stallion. But I'd never seen one. I had those 3 on the left originally, but then I'd never seen one so dark as the one on the right. So obviously that came to live with me. Obviously blanket variations on that Appaloosa. Have like the horse and rider sets as well. And the Tinker Stout mares. You can see all of the ponies, 3 different Hanoverian mares. They are all different, I swear. And then we're going down to this level, which this Lipzana Stallion on the end here, it's also a massive spider. That was my first ever Schleich animal that was bought for me by my aunt, and who's sat on this shelf ever since. And then we have like the horse and cart in the background. So this is like, these are mostly my childhood ponies once we get down to this sort of section. So some of these are a bit beaten up, but you know, they're childhood ponies. And then on the end we have all 4 different variations of that Pinot Stallion. If anyone wants a video on Schleich variations, let me know, because I have loads. And then like, again, you can see like that Percheron mare that has the rubbed ears. A lot of these are childhood ponies, but I'm not aiming to replace them because, you know, they've all got memories. So they all stay on here. But I really, really like how these shelves look with them all chronologically on here. And this goes down. These are basically my favourites. These go all the way down to like 2013, I believe we're up to once we get to down here. Which for me was when I started to fall out of love with the brand a bit. Like they started to, you know, Horse Club. It was really 2016 was when Horse Club decided it was going to be pink all the time. And that was when I really fell out of love with the brand. But, you know, up until this point, I was absolutely in love with every single model. So, yeah, that is the first shelf that I have that is full of Schleich horses. And now let's move on to the other one. So this is my second shelf. These are all newer models, or mostly newer models. There's also some animals in here and like the WIA horses. We're going to skip over them. I'm going to do them in a separate video. But again, it's chronologically based. We'll do the horses first. So this is 2014 now we're at. Again, I was still collecting at this time. I still got all of them. And I'm really glad I did, because they still came out with some really nice models at this time. And like some of them, like this Stallion and Foal and like the curly horses, wherever they're living, are quite hard to find now because they're only made for a couple of years. So there's the curly mare and foal. So I'm really glad I kept collecting during this era. Yeah, you can see, I can't remember. I think chronologically we don't go up here because this is now 2018, which by 2018 I'd sort of decided I wasn't going to collect them anymore. I still have a lot because like I can't resist them if I find them for really cheap. And I still have a couple of variations I've picked up, like that Andalusian Stallion. One of them only has dapples on one side and one has dapples on both sides. So obviously they both stay. And then that's like 2017, and then yeah, like 2018. Again, you can see there are some quite beaten up ponies on this shelf that are variations. And then once you get to this era, you start to get a few that I actually like. Again, like a few that I've picked up, like this tournament mare and the Frisian and the Trakehner gelding. And you can tell that I'm not quite done with Schleich yet because there is a gap on the shelf that is for new arrivals, because some of the new ones I really do really like actually. They seem to have upped their game again. So there's definitely going to be at some point some of the new like 2024, 25 models joining my collection. I'm just waiting for them to come on sale, basically. And then down here we have some of these. So even when I stopped collecting like the regular run models, I carried on with the exclusives for a while because I thought if I really start getting into them again, then I'm going to regret missing out on all these magazine exclusives. So at the back we have website exclusive ponies up until, I don't know, about like 2019-ish, I want to say. And in the front we have the magazine exclusive ponies. We'll skip past the WA, they're for a separate video. And then you can see again, these guys are sort of like colour coordinated-ish as far as I could. But I really like a lot of these little foals, they're really cute. So yeah, that is the horse section of this video over with already, or some of the horses. We do also have other horses to look at. We're going to stick on this shelf for a bit because otherwise I'm going to forget about them. But I also have a lot of miscellaneous animals because I always pick them up when I see them. So at the top there we have like kittens and pets, which is so out of scale. Like the guinea pig and the hamster and the mouse are bigger than the cats. And then we have like a little Arctic down there. We have sort of like European-ish wildlife. I mean, like wolves and deer, and I really do like some of the deer. They're so adorable. And then down here we have the dogs, which I really, really like. I really like dogs. I've got 3 dogs, so, I really like these older Schleich dogs, but I try not to collect everything. But then you might think we must be done with Schleich, but we're not, because at the top of my Breyer displays and at the bottom I have a lot of my stables and trees and stuff like that. So we'll go up here. So this is my really old stable. This is from, I can't remember, like 90s, but this took me ages to track down. And the models you see are like doubles, well, basically just doubles. They're slightly different from the ones that are on display. Like usually they're either like variations of where they were made or small marking variations. But you can see we have the riding stables. We have my original childhood stable and the garage as well. And then this side is like wildlife. So we have the acacia tree and then just loads of random wildlife. The watering hole, which I was really lucky to find for a really good price, because that is a really cool bit of Schleich stuff. And you can see very crowded animal enclosures. And then we have to literally get on the floor to look down here. So this is where my sheep live, with a couple of the trees and the red horse box and trailer that was a Toys R Us exclusive. They live in the dressage arena. And then we have like the barn with the swans and pigs in front. And then the other side, we have the big red barn with like the beech tree and the small oak tree with the cows in the paddock in front with the very, very large squirrel. Now we're the other side, we're back towards my original Schleich shelf to have a quick look at some of the displays up here. So here I have the pony agility with like the riding arena from about 2017. Pony agility was after I stopped collecting them, or stopped like collecting every one of them, but I really like the idea. And this side we have another riding arena and then some of the newer sets that I've managed to pick up for cheap over the years. And also the wash arena, which I do really like, but I can't find anywhere else to put it, so it lives there. And we also have up here some of my other random car boot finds. We have some of the Bayala ones, especially the early ones I really like, where they use the same sculpt as they did the horses. And then there's a mammoth down here. There's a knight and a Smurf and a Snoopy. Back when they first did the online store, Schleich used to give you like a free Smurf with every order. So, or a Snoopy. And then we have knights. And then down here we have dinosaurs. I don't collect dinosaurs, but you know me, I can't leave them behind if I find them for really, really cheap. So that's why there are dinosaurs in this collection. And then finally we go down here where we have the Rider Cafe, we have the tournament arena set, which I wish I could like spread out fully, but it's massive and I don't have any room. And then on this side we have the original stable from 2016, that newly designed stable. a few of because even though I stopped collecting like all the buildings because it was just getting too expensive, I do have a few of the horses that came exclusive to various sets because I really like them, and also this barn that I just randomly really liked, so decided to buy. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed having a little nosy at my Schleich collection. I'm really, really happy with this collection. Like, it's been 15 odd years in the making. So, you know, if you're looking at your own collection and thinking like, oh my God, I'm never going to have as big a collection, like, it just takes time and patience. And I'm still missing a few models. But yeah. And if you haven't, be sure to check out, I'm doing like different model horse collection tours on my channel for all the different models in my collection. So like I'm doing a Breyer one, I've done a My Little Pony one that came out first. So be sure to keep an eye on my channel and check out if you want to see the rest of this horse room, because there's still a lot more that you didn't get to see today. And thank you for watching.